Southbound Brent Webb, an extremely devastating support runner. Tamo Tupo turns 23 next week. He's one of 6 Broncos on the paddock tonight with a grand final smile. Josiah Soliola finally makes his debut for the Kiwis. He's the new Meninga. Manly's Steve Meadows had a huge NRL season and he's a punishing defender. Manu Vatuvei carved up the Tri-Nations last year. Time for a repeat effort. At 6, Nigel Wagner, a tall order in this spot. His service will be crucial. There's a sparkle in the eye of Stacey Jones. He's fit and fresh. Captain Ruben Wiki with 50 caps will lead the ground war for the Kiwis. Look out. The Tigers' Dean Hallertau debuted in the 2004 Tri-Nations. Roy Asatasi, now considered the #1 prop in the game, and he's a Kiwi. David Kidwell's had a stellar year. The southbound second rower has a point to prove. Penrith's captain Tony Puletua is a damaging ball runner. He'll create havoc with his offloads. Simon Mannering played all season at centre. His future, though, is in the forwards. On the bench, Jerome Robuddy knows all about Test football and covers a variety of spots. Parramatta's Nathan Kalis has had a renaissance year. He'll be thrust into the ground war early. After 16 NRL games, 20-year-old Adam Blair debuts off the bench. And Penrith's Frank Pritchard with 5 caps completes the Kiwi bench.
It's the opening night of a new series for International Rugby League as 2 old rivals go head-to-head at Mount Smart Stadium right here in Auckland. Kia ora and good evening, everybody. Nice to have you with us for Game 1 of the Gillette Tri-Nations. It's the Kiwis up against the Kangaroos. New Zealand, of course, defending champions, but up against the might of the world champions. Of course, come here tonight as raging hot favourites for this tournament opener. Not a bad crowd in here either, it must be said. There was some concern among the officialdom about the numbers that would be rocking up here tonight, but quite a healthy crowd for this one. New Zealand 24-0 winners, of course, in the series decider last year, but so much has changed since then. As we have a look at the Kangaroos, some new faces with the retirement of the likes of Johns, Kennedy and Menzies. 5 new caps in total. Hodges, Inglis, Smith, Maitua and Kite. Jonathan Thurston, the only one in the 17 who did not feature in the NRL finals. The coach, of course, is Ricky Stewart.
When has an Australian team ever been so big? They are massive across the park. Swap them round, the backs could just about play in the forwards, especially the centres and the wingers. Lockyer, Thurston in the halves, and Cameron Smith. What a fine year. Dalian Player of the Year.
Great Queensland connection it is between the 1, 6, 7 and 9 for the green and golds. And the New Zealand side, of course, speaking of change as well, just 7 survivors from the team that proved victorious at Allen Road almost 12 months ago. On the flip side, 4 newcomers, Soliola, Matai, Mannering and Blair on the bench. Significantly, Stacey Jones returns for this Trans-Tasman battle after missing the Anzac Test debacle in Brisbane 5 months ago. The coach, of course, Brian McLennan.
And at first look, when you look at this Kiwi side, what you see is physical, you see confrontational, but you also see a football side that needs to bring some smarts to the game. They know they're going to match it up in the middle of the ruck, but then it's about going to the wide game, and that experience that's in the number 7, Stacey Jones, along with Nigel Wagner, they're the ones that are going to be charged with the responsibility of creating, finding some options and deploying the right options, the right plays.
Exactly right. And when you talked about the physical confrontation, Peter, what they need to do is invite this Australian team to run straight at them. The first player in needs to stop the ball and wrap up the arms. The second player in, well, he needs to lift the player off the ground. These Australians are quite tall and lanky, and if you can shift their momentum and somehow just manage to drag them back, that in turn slows the play of the ball. That will give them some time and space, and when they have won test matches, that's exactly what they've done.
But this is a game that tonight is going to be about the preparation leading into it, the tactics, the strategies deployed by the respective coaches. They're going to be looking for quick meters out of the acting half so they avoid the numbers contact, so that you don't get caught in with the 3 or 4 defenders on top of you. As a consequence, you slow the play the ball down. Australia, they're equipped well. When you look at number 9, Cameron Smith, he'll get them on the front foot. Perhaps not the most gifted, the most talented, but he's certainly the smartest footballers running around out in the number 9 shirt. He'll bring them on, and then he'll look to play it on the edge. He'll look to his support players. Then, when they go wide, they've got class.
So much of that class, of course, centred on the Melbourne and Brisbane connection that, of course, did feature in the NRL Grand Final. It's a star-studded lineup for the Kangaroos, notwithstanding the changes. The changing of the guard, of course, from that game in Brisbane mid-season.
But it's also a change of the guard when you look at so many youngsters involved in the Kangaroo side, so many with 0 caps, this being their first, they're on debut. They could very well see the beginning of them carving out a long history. For many Kiwi supporters this side of the Tasman, it'll be hanging their heads on the hoping that perhaps because it is debut time, that maybe there's some errors.
So much of the changing of the guard for this Australian team centres around the back row. Shaw Hindmarsh has been there for a while. O'Donnell's a newcomer from last year, and Reddy Maitua, the Bulldog, getting his start. The Kiwis, well, they're just the same in the back row. Some changes there as well. So that is probably the area of the game where the workload, if it's going to be shared around the players, well, that's the key.
Certainly one thing that has attracted some attention, the fact that the Aussies supposedly so much more match fit. 7 for the record of Australia's starting 13 did actually play in the grand final as the hero for the Broncos, one of many in Darren Lockyer, the Australian captain, leads out the Kangaroos onto Mount Smart Stadium. Great night for Test match football, the opening match to the Gillette Tri-Nations.
And interesting, Darren Lockyer this week, remembering his debut match at North Harbour back in '98, a game that he wished the ground would open up and swallow him up. But how things have changed. The champion, he's come against adversity, he's had critics all year, and he's responded in the best possible way. O'Mealy, he'll be looking to get his hands on the ball. Hodges has been in outstanding form. Carmichael Hunt back in the number 1, where he represented back at Anzac time.
Willis Mason, one of those Kangaroos that was part of the train wreck, if you like, from Allen Road when Australia was well and truly humbled from last season. Scoreline that shocked so many rugby league followers on both sides of the equator.
And also an insight into the game that the Kangaroos are going to play. Willie Mason, predominantly as a back rower, picked as a starting front rower tonight. Perhaps suggests the style of game you're going to get.
Kiwis don't seem to be too keen to head out onto the field. They'll make the Australians wake, soak up every inch of time they can, and they'll come out when they're ready. Cool, calm and collected as Bluey McLennan there possibly just gets the guys on his feet. Willie Mason, Darren Lockyer will be in charge of keeping the Australians warm.
And the preparation for tonight's game, very different, very contrasting for these two sides. The Kiwis, so many of them not involved in football over the last 3-4 weeks. Physically, they've been tested in the training paddock. Tonight, they need to bring it to the ground. Invariably, as the game goes on, it's about being able to make the right decisions. Physically, if you're finding yourself a little fatigued, you could end up making the wrong ones. Kangaroos, on the other hand, they're well prepared to play international football.
Earlier on this evening, we were impressed to see the junior Kiwis running around before this match in the curtain raiser. And the stars of the future, someone suggests, in the junior Kiwis, the likes of Scotty Jones and co, out showing their wares against the New South Wales representative side.
So here they come, the men in black. Ruben Wiki leads out the Kiwis in his 51st Test match, possibly his last ever here in the city of Sails.
Inspiration, that's all you can say. Jake the Muss, as he's known, deserves the respect. Kidwell, fine form for Melbourne. And Puliatua, boy, can't he do with the run. Have a look at that man there, Sia Soliola. He has waited a long time for his chance. Injured last year before the Tri-Series left for England. Back this year to get a start.
And welcome back, Stacey Jones. All the decisions, the guidance, the direction around the park, it rests squarely on the number 7. But you talk about David Kidwell, the hit he had on Petro Civoniceva. Well, this is round 2 tonight.
So just awaiting the formalities here tonight at Mount Smart Stadium. Both teams lined up.
Ladies and gentlemen,
for the national anthem now.
For the national anthem,
Kendall Baker.
The national anthem tonight will be the Australian anthem, sung by Nick Afara. So could you please stand? Thank you.
Australians, oh, let us rejoice, for we are young and free. We've golden soil and wealth for
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the New Zealand national anthem, sung by Kendall Baker.
So here we go, folks. Scene is set here for another epic battle between these two great rivals. Steve Matai, the new look Matai at that, as we go downstairs now for the pre-match haka. Tell you folks, from looking at those pictures, they don't lie. No prizes for guessing who is public enemy number one here tonight. His name, Willie Mason, just for the record after what we've just seen.
Well, we'll leave it at that. Actions speak louder than words, Costo. Let's let it happen. The Kiwis go into a huddle. There it is, Willie Mason.
There's two things we're seeing very different here tonight. One, the Australians lining up arm to arm, and then the Kiwis going into a huddle prior to kicking off. Get ready.
Ashley Klein is our referee, former Super League referee of the year. Interestingly, Mason to start this one off the bench. Coach Ricky Stewart obviously playing ducks and drakes before the game. They did tell us it would be unchanged. That, of course, is not the case. The Tri-Nation Series of 2006 is alive. And the Kangaroos with first use of the football. Mark O'Mealy swapping with Mason from the get-go for this one. Here's Sivanasiva. Kangaroos winning the toss, electing to receive the football. They are defending the Manukau end of the ground. Opening 60 seconds of the series. Rising to play the football, Luke O'Donnell back to the new cap, Cameron Smith again. Sivanasiva getting involved here. Daryl Halligan and Peter Ropati alongside myself for the call here tonight. Should be a goodie, this one. Smith with the clearing kick from dummy half, and it finds open pasture too. Here's the departing Warrior. Webb giving it on to his wingman. Look at the chase too from the Kangaroos. They're there in numbers. A little bit of argy-bargy involving Tame Tupo.
Won't be the first time we see Cameron Smith tuck out this side, the left side, and kick. But the problem with Australia is they've got two left-footed kickers, and Lockyer as well. He likes to kick down this left-hand edge, leaving Jonathan Thurston to expose the right side.
Steve Matai, the new cap, plays it back, and Mannering now hits it up. His selection at lock forward, loose forward. Call it what you like, raising a few eyebrows. A lot of responsibility on his shoulders here tonight. Wiki, the old stager himself, 10 short of halfway, centre of the ground. Jones, back in the Kiwi jumper tonight with the clearing kick. Bouncing ball, picked up by Carmichael Hunt. That could have been Kiwi. They give him some curry. Not that we expected anything else. Here's King. He's picked up and done. Following the tackle, getting tackling at its best.
And that is a ploy that New Zealand need to do all night. First player in stops the player. Second player picks him up, suspends him in the air, slows the play of the ball down, and allows your defensive line to get set.
Gasnier plays it back for Smith. Seven Seaver with the carry. Takes the tackle and Wiki over the top. Downstairs was Dean Hallertau. Seven Seaver with a very sluggish play of the ball. Clearing kick taken to the full by Tupou, the Brisbane Bronco winger. Goes to ground, didn't play in the grand final, of course. Webb serves it up now to Vatuvai, one of only 4 Warriors in this Kiwi 17 here tonight. Brent Webb, of course, a former Warrior, off to Leeds for next year's Super League. Playing it back there, Matai, New Zealand now. Barnstorming run from Roy Azatazi, and that's why he was the Dally M prop of the year.
Well, Marco Mealy hasn't seen much of Roy Azatazi. He normally plays with him, and that time he showed him his footwork. Went straight past O'Mealy.
3 minutes gone in the test match. Here comes the last for the home side. Stacey Jones running it on the last. Vangana through again, got the kick away. And Carmichael Hunt has it covered. Hunt across the ground. Look at him go. He's chopped down. Good copybook tackle. And it's the oldest player on the park in Ruben Wiki.
And the opening exchanges have been exactly what you expected. It's about two sides looking to fight for territory. But you've also seen an opportunity of the Kiwis showing that they have got a backup plan, that there is another dimension other than playing in the centre, and that's about going wide. Sometimes Nigel Wagner hovering too wide on the ruck and then looking to go to the kick.
Good call here from Ashley Klein right in front of us. Forward pass in the eyes of the Australian referee based in Britain as we go downstairs for the first time tonight. Stephen McIver, what an atmosphere here tonight.
If you can't get excited about rugby league, you'll never get excited about this. The opening exchanges, the national anthems, the haka, Willie Mason's reaction, then coming off the bench or starting off the bench. Everything is primed for a very special night. Weather is perfect. It's a light breeze, probably running right to left as you look at it right now, but look out.
Jones with the put in. And he goes across now to Soliola, one of the new faces in this Kiwi lineup from the Sydney Roosters, of course. One of the vast majority of the team that didn't play in the finals. Here's a penalty. Just a bit too high, according to referee Klein.
The villain, I think, will be Hindmarsh Shaw as Mannering tries to get on the outside. And, well, around the melon, but not particularly nasty and not particularly vicious. The Kiwis go for touch.
And now on the attack, Vatuvai. They pick him up and dump him. Luke O'Donnell making the tackle. Hallertau. West Tigers utility. Filling the role at hooker here tonight in this test match. Ched goes up for the Kiwis. Here's Webb, twinkle toes himself. Jones across to Kidwell. And the future South Sydney player goes to ground. Quick play the ball. Nigel Vangana. Everybody asleep. Vangana is so close. And probably has been held up. But everybody for the Australians was caught napping.
Well, they'll go to the top to have a look at this, but go to David Kidwell. Talk about speed off the ground, being able to get the defenders in. Then it's a quick play the ball. And one smarter, his involvement already so early in the game, Nigel Wagner, second big play. The first was when it went wide, and he found a kick at the end of it. This one coming out of the acting half. But I don't think we're going to see a green light on this one.
Geez, I'll tell you what, he was a lot closer than I thought. A lot closer than I gave him credit for. My goodness, perilously close.
I think the longer it went on, the longer it looked as though it was going to slip off the arm.
Well, the bias in me wants the water try right now for sure, but I've got a feeling it's just held up. Oh, did it touch a blade there?
What blade? Come on.
Oh, I don't think so. It was a little bit off the ground, but Nigel Vagana, he can expose you.
The grass. They shouldn't have cut the lawn.
I'll go back and have another close look at it, but he can be so dangerous. A quick play of the ball.
Well, this is just incredible. And if there's benefit of the doubt, well, let's see it applied.
Well, does it have to touch the grass or touch the soil?
Well, you'd have to think it's
over the line.
The green stuff, Daryl, the green stuff.
I'm with you. Give it a try.
Well, as I say, I gave him no hope from up here. I think everyone in the stadium gave him no hope. It was a bold display, but he may well have pinched 4 points here. Here we go, the two video referees, one from either side of the Tasman. They've given it. Well, quite staggering. Nigel Vagana has been given 4 points. The opening try of the series, and the Kiwis will play from in front thanks to benefit of the doubt.
Well, we talked in the pre-game show, we talked about the football gods. We talked about whether or not they'll be shining down on you tonight, and this could be one. It was a wonderful play there by David Kidwell. Speed off the ground, allowing someone like Nigel Vagana, experience, the number 6, quickly sizes up the situation. Jonathan Thurston still going back, and then the benefit of the doubt finds the first 4-pointer. On cue, right as the crowd got in behind it, the chant for Kiwi went up. They found their first.
He did well for sure. First there was a fend from Kidwell out wide. And then the markers, well, one was Maitua, and the other marker who had marked up Thurston. He caught them both early in their test match records, and he just started away. Experience.
Oh, experience plus. This is his 34th test match. Has he given New Zealand great service or what?
What he's given them above all right now is the start that you want. And in an international where you're up against the red-hot favourites in the Kangaroos, you couldn't ask for a better start. You look at the experience that sits there right now on the backs. All of it sits, 60% of the 129 caps. Nigel, Stacey Jones. One scores, and Stacey to kick.
From the Catalan Dragons in the south of France. Off the tee, she looks great. Crowd reaction tells the story. He converts the Vagana try. And it's New Zealand in the series opener, leading the Kangaroos here in Auckland, 6 points to 0.
Plenty of space in and behind the ruck, and that's something that wouldn't impress Ricky Stewart early in this match.
A restart off the boot of Darren Lockyer. And just repeating the news, Willie Mason starting off the bench here tonight after giving the Kiwis a godful during the haka, and I'm sure we will hear more about that post-match win, lose or draw here tonight.
It's interesting when you talk about post-match, with all the demerit points eliminated for the International Try Series. Both sides have 30 minutes of completion to be able to lodge any complaints. Otherwise, it's move on. And I don't think we'll hear too much out of Willie.
Kiwis here 9 short of the midway stripe as Atazi passing before the line, and Wiki was under pressure there. Picked off by Mark O'Mealy with the help of O'Donnell. 8 gone in the test match. Last tackle play, switch from Jones to Webb. He got the kick away, not too much depth to it. And look at this, Australia on the boil, on the attack. Tackle number 1 with Greg Inglis, the newcomer on the wing. 11 short of halfway.
And again, persisting with coming down the right-hand side, looking to find Inglis. Stacey Jones looking for his number 2 kicker, found Webb, and he went exactly where Stacey was going to go in the first play, down at Inglis.
Mark O'Mealy, the man they call Shrek. 5 metres, New Zealand side of halfway. Here's Thurston across to his Cowboy teammate in Luke O'Donnell. Jonathan Thurston, his first start for the Green and Golds tonight. There's Mason. Biding his time on the bench here as Smith goes for a sortie from dummy half.
And again, Smith doing what you'd expect, and that's just getting him on the front foot, just putting his head through the line. All he needed was some support there.
Thurston kicking for Inglis, but it's been gobbled up by Tupou, and he's away. No, he's not. Ball still in play. Not quite. So they forced the mistake here, the Kangaroos. Effectively, 6 to go. This is a bad blow for the Kiwis.
The kick was spot on, and Tupou did well. First, he got rid of his opponent, and then he hit it up the sideline, but didn't quite get infield early enough before Hodges ragdolled him. Did well in the first instance. Surprisingly, the Australian didn't compete for the ball. He had an opportunity to do so. Free take.
And bagging rights also to one of the 3 musketeers, Carmichael Hunt, Justin Hodges, Tamou Tupou. Good mates from Brisbane.
Speaking of Brisbane, here's Hodges. Peaked in the centres. Many thought he'd be fullback for this one. Survived the week at training. There was some concern over his troublesome hamstring, hence the big strapping there on the thigh, the right thigh of Hodges. Here's Thurston turning it back for Seven Asiva. He takes the tackle. And that of Mannering, the makeshift lock forward for the Kiwis. Smith. No dummies here from New Zealand. He's 5 metres out. O'Donnell. A dummy half to Thurston at first receiver. Lockyer holds up the pass. They're queuing up out wide. Nice touch. No, it went forward.
Well, he might have had bragging rights, Carmichael Hunt, but I want you to have a look at this shot from Tamou Tupou. He must have given him a gobble as they spread it wide, set play, and look at this. He shots the ball and then gets taken out. They've called it forward to Inglis, but boy, oh boy, that's certainly up and in.
Well, it's about making a decision as well, a defensive decision. He picked the right one, Tamou Tupou. He put all sorts of bother amongst them. A little bit of anxiety, a little bit of rush, and the Kiwis got the result.
Tupou breathing a sigh of relief, needless to say, after that blemish. So New Zealand off the hook, at least for now. Early in the tackle count, but down their own end of the field. Hallertau looking for a quick play the ball here. This is Asatazi. Bulldog strong man. What a season he had for the Belmore Base Club. Here's a penalty.
All over the ball. Look it up here.
Second penalty of the game going to the home side.
Guys, you see it? Play, Justin.
For the Kiwis, fine touch on this western side of the ground, and hitting it up now is Soliola, right on halfway, right in front of our commentary position here. Wiki with the next carry, bash and barge from the veteran himself. Jones turns it back on the inside. Mannering now is engulfed by the Kangaroo defence.
Some nice variation in the Kiwis attack so far. You've seen instances, Ruben Wiki just persisting with just one up, then look for a tip on. Looking for him to go wide, mixing it up once they get into the centre third of this football field.
Jones, flat ball, maybe forward, play on's the call. Intercept, what a gift for Thurston. Has he got the pace? Black jumpers coming from everywhere on the Cowboys playmaker, and they've got him thanks to the desperation of Kedwell. Kiwis under pressure here, big pressure. Gasnier beats a couple, still going. Mannering is struggling to put him on the deck.
Well played, Manu Vatuvei. He made a call.
Lockyer to nobody. Bouncing ball. Mike to it. New cap. Another of these could have been Kiwis. 10 metres out. Options left and right. They come the left side. Here's Hodges. Big step. Evasive customer, strong customer, tricky customer, looking for the try. Hodges looking to do it himself.
Wait, Simon.
Smith. Thurston. The play the ball was dodgy. We'll come back to that. Here comes the try. They had numbers, and it's Carmichael Hunt out wide in his second test match for Australia, putting the green and golds on the board at Mount Smart. 6 plays, 4, kick to come, 14 gone.
And go all the way back to the break there by Thurston. He was on the, perhaps at first look was an offside position, but he got the ball, he got the pass, and then it became a foot race all the way down. There's Thurston standing on this side. Thank you, and away he goes. But look at the chase coming from Kedwell on the far side. They got down, but they were always under pressure. They were always in all sorts of bother. Manu Vatuvei does well when he elects to come in and finds Gasnier in the next ensuing play. But then they shifted, and Hodges, didn't he do some wonderful work in setting this one up? The numbers were there. Carmichael Hunt, 4 points.
Well, what they did do is they were patient once they got the football down this end of the field, and then they got the ball to Darren Lockyer at the right time. Numbers were so spread out wide. They were queuing up. Look at that, 2 on the outside and some 35 metres to work in, and Lockyer knew he just had a catch and pass on his hands. They were shot ducks on that side of the field, and Lockyer, he knows how to get it there.
Well, they could have been shot as well. The Kangaroos could very well have found themselves without it. Hodges, well, he had other ideas. He did exceptionally well. 3-4 defenders coming in, and it was the left hand, noted as his right hand as being his strongest weapon, but able to fend him off with the left. He set him up well, and then they went right and got him.
Jonathan Thurston, of course, working the scrums for Australia with the retirement of Andrew Johns. Was on the bench for the Battle of Brisbane back in May. Carmichael Hunt getting a try. Of course, the Battle of Brisbane was something he'd rather forget after being stretchered off in that one.
The goal kicking of Thurston in this year's State of Origin series was nothing short of sensational.
Thurston, will he squeeze it? Will he? What? He raises the flags. Does the North Queensland attacking genius himself 6-6 at Mount Smart?
And you look here at the luxury of having combinations as well. Cameron Smith, you find Lockyer, and your questions raised there.
Well, you question the play, the ball. Gut instinct. Gentleman told me that it was dodgy, to say the least, and Ashley Klein, he has missed something there that perhaps we will hear more about as well. Back underway, and look at this. O'Mealy on the charge. Yeah, just on that try to play the ball. One wonders why they just didn't check it upstairs.
So important, this set of 6 for the Kangaroos. They know that the Kiwis are going to come back having just conceded down the other end. So they'll look to play out a good set, a strong set, and that's exactly what they want, to just get them out a little bit further. Courtesy of just laying a little too long, dwelling on the defensive player. David Kidwell, guilty.
Kangaroos get their first penalty of the test match as we come past the quarter of an hour mark. The kick for touch is disappointing for the Aussies. No, it's not. It's worked out well. Tame Tupou doing his utmost to come up with possession as we watch the replay.
The first touch is fantastic, and let's see, a little bit of boot on the sideline. Give that touch here, Rap. Go on.
Yeah, the touchy.
We normally give him a bagging, so give him a wrap.
Ben Cummins is the man in question. Has refereed at the NRL level. Johnny on the spot making the right call. Loose head and feet here to the Kangaroos. Here they go once more. Show and go with Greg Inglis. Can play fullback, centre, 5'8", wing, you name it. What a play this kid will be.
But the little 50-50s are starting to take their toll.
Australia from close range once more. They look to set it up with O'Donnell. Captured by Hallertown. Thurston, Lockyer, across to Maitua. Lovely tackle. Soliola around the bootlaces. They come back to right side with Lockyer. Thurston. Where's Hunt? There's Carmichael Hunt. Special K, special kid, special player. He gets a double, and the Aussies hit the front.
I'll tell you what, the Kiwis were lucky on the play previous as well. Justin Hodges just a little too far back when they went wide. If he had been on the shoulder there, Rennie Maitua, they would have scored on the left-hand side. But again, the Broncos combination comes to the fore again. The two-man play, Carmichael Hunt, nice line running.
The expensive game of this Kangaroo side, courtesy of Darren Lockyer. And now the man who's taken over from Andrew Johns and Jonathan Thurston coming to the floor. They go from the scrum right away across, and then they come back. And they look like they're going to go back to the right with a long ball. And right there, Carmichael Hunt, nice short angle, and he goes. And the defence, well, pushing up for sure, but not pushing in close enough.
We talked at the top of the broadcast about being able to compete in every set. We've also mentioned about the 50-50 starting to take the toll, starting to find some pain, and pain particularly for the black and whites. Tame Tupou doing well, and then Law becoming a little unstuck to play the ball. Perhaps deserved a little bit of attention up the top, it wasn't to be.
So Mason, as you can see, is on the park. Surprising just about everybody. The fact that he started this one on the sidelines, and now Jonathan Thurston from close range. There's 2 games in the last 10 weeks for the former Dally M medalist, and again he has slotted it. So the Kangaroos, 2 converted tries after conceding early. They lead this 12-6, 18 gone at Mount Smart.
Important play now for the Kiwis is the speed of the play the ball. Can they test the ref just long enough to slow the Australians up and regain some composure without giving away a penalty? Let's have a look at the speed of the play the balls in the set of 6.
Ruben Wiki getting a well-deserved spell as we come up towards the midway stage of the opening stanza. Here's Mason. Get out of my way, he says.
In the game the Kiwis have to get back into. The close quarter stuff suited them, and they were playing well in that department. But as the game started to open up, they need to get the stats back in their favour. They need to get the possession. They need to get the completion back in their favour, because this will not help them. Because again, the Kangaroos will continue to get the territory, and that's when they start to fire shots.
David Kidwell searching high on this occasion on Rennie Maitua.
Well, it was Kidwell who got bumped off by Mason in his first run. And if you're going to tell me that, DJ, if you're going to tell me that's a penalty, I've got a big problem with this. Anyway, play on.
Here's Mason once more. On the 20-metre line. Sivanasiva. Cameron Smith looking for runners. He finds Thurston. He's scheming. He looks to slice through. Does the number 7. 5 short of the goal line. Vangana all over him like a rash. He plays it back. Slow service out of dummy half. It comes eventually to Lockyer. He's not sure where to go. Here's Carmichael Hunt. We've got some slow motion football all of a sudden. And then he takes the tackle.
It's called the calm before the storm.
Lockyer, Mason. He goes to ground. Vangana downstairs for New Zealand. One more to go here for the Kangaroos. Little dab in behind the line. Ball is loose, bouncing around.
A little offside, so we're going to have a scrum down. No. Scrum down, straight head and feed.
6 more coming up effectively here.
Accidentally offside.
Very taxing period here for the Kiwis. Defending their own line for the 3rd time in a row. And now Australia will get a repeat set of 6. After Thurston, he'll put through a nice little grubber, which goes through the line. To get footage of Stacey Jones, or we might not get a replay of it.
And this is where all the little advantages we talk about. Game time coming into tonight's game. It's about number of players involved in finals footy.
Stay in, Simon.
This will start to test you.
Accidental offside was the interpretation from Ashley Klein as the Kangaroos go through the hands. Gasnier looks to set up King. No, he doesn't. King hits the advertising hoardings, and there's a stink on. Look at this. It's spilling over into the in goal. Oh, this is ugly. Cameraman's been taken out. The players, the melee is spilled over towards the running track. Ashley Klein struggling to take control here, but fiery stuff in the series opener.
Well, the crowd roar, but I don't know whether this is required. They go wide with Gasnier and King. And King, who overran the ball, gets a shoulder out of the way. And the referee's got a job to do here. So let's listen in and see what's going on.
Back King. Back King. There's no need for that at all. Ball miles out. Hey, no need to talk. Back away now. Penalty's going to go again. Shoot over here.
Well,
this is a play when you allow one-on-one. Gasnier not quite having the accuracy, but this is where it all started. King took offence. He found Manavatave, but look out. He had attention coming from everywhere. There was a bit of a mismatch. Thurston there up against Manavatave. and then it all got carried off.
What about the poor old cameraman? He's battered and bruised, so too his gear.
Malcolm looks healthy.
He always does.
Boys, just a quick note, big double change for the Kiwis. Frankie Pritchard and on debut after 16 NRL games, young Adam Blair from the Storm.
You better change that camera while you're down there as well, Steve.
Mate, I'm not getting amongst that.
I'll tell you what, there's a few players getting a little hot under the collar all of a sudden here at Mount Smart as the Kiwis get the penalty once more. Matt King, it hasn't been a good month for him. Lost a grand final, bagged the ref, got fined $5,000. Now he's been hung out to dry after that.
That's so important now that the Kiwis have found themselves able to find some composure and take advantage of this little opportunity that's been afforded to them. They've got some of the Kangaroos a little miffed, but they now need to be dominant in the next set and finish with some good territory.
They need a repeat set of 6, Peter. That's what they need. They need some football down this other end of the football field. So if they can keep marching their way up here and get a good kick on the end of it, they're a show.
Now with the carry for the Kiwis, former captain himself, Nathan Kalis. Blair. Welcome to Test match football. Former Northland schoolboy. Jones running the show. Boom! Into Sivanasiva. He takes the tackle of the big man.
Forget about taking the tackle. He took the hit as well, bounced out and looked to continue out the back end.
Webb slices the kick. King's got it. Matt King has it under control for the Kangaroos.
Stacey Jones didn't actually want to take that ball to the line because he took himself out of play to kick the last tackle option, and that left it to Webb. And while the kick was a good one, it wasn't high enough. Didn't get a clean shot on it for our attacking wing over there. And Matu Vatuvai, should I say. And King tidies up well for Australia.
Isn't that a nice little contest as well? What a hit! What a hit, David Kidwell. David Kidwell with round 2. The first.
What about the trash talk?
We saw round 1 in the grand final. That was up against Sivanasiva. Well, this time, he just took out the guy that had the most to say.
And it looks like it got him right in the ribs too, Ropo. The way Mason's gone down, we'll have a look at he comes in from his blind side. Boom, right on the ball, right on the elbow, which means a ribcage shot for sure. And watch him go down, the big guy, Willie, straight to the deck, and he's still there.
Willie Mason, he had plenty to say in the early part of the week, but look who's doing the talking now.
And check out under the eye. As the game goes on, that'll close.
Sivanasiva with a wry smile as he gets a spell.
Believe it or not, Willie will like that. That'll fire Willie up. He likes that sort of stuff.
Is that all you got, he's saying?
Again, I reiterate. Couple of big plays there by the Kiwis on the back of a penalty down the other end. Now make it worth something.
Ball's loose. In fact, we've got a penalty here. Offside against the Kangaroos.
Sometimes this is when you call an old-fashioned football to get yourself back into it. David Kidwell and Willie Mason. That was the start.
I don't know if you guys can feel it down here, but this is like a prize fight. It feels like a big one. Lennox Lewis against someone else. This one is just going off right now. Someone's going to have to settle down.
Look at Mason. He's still showing the scars of battle here. Tupou, tackle one. Good surging run from the block-busting Brisbane winger. 13 out from the goal line. The carry from Blair is not a bad one. 5 metres out. Halatau fires it across to Jones, and now to Webb. Over the top she goes. A bit of a rainbow pass, if you like, to Vatuvai on the end of it. The Kangaroos are there in numbers. Pritchard, a dummy half. In fact, Vatuvai's lost the ball. Wasn't illegal? No way, says the touch judge on the far side of the ground. Ashley Klein will pack down the scrum, and the Kangaroos will get the pill.
I can sense a disappointment in your lounge room for sure. Well, you've got to believe that Gasnier has got a play in that for sure. His hands are all over the ball. And I give the touchy rap on this side before, but the other one's not going to get one.
Well, there he is, Mr. Pascoe in the hot seat, a Kiwi official himself. Can you believe that? He's missed one there. The Kangaroos they've got away with one.
And it could very well be the play that comes back and haunts as well when you put it in context of this match. When you got an opportunity, this has been their best passage of play. since the opening 5-10 minutes of the game. To be denied could come back to bite real big.
Cameron Smith kicking early in the count. Maitua gets a rest. Here's a big chase from Hodges. Kiwis under pressure. Tupou, will he get out of jail? No way in the world. What a play from the Green and Golds.
That's called fighting for territory. That's about spending the last 5 minutes on your goal line. Now getting the opportunity, you get right down where you want to be.
That is the Dally M Player of the Year, showing what sort of game he's got and what he's brought here to Mount Smart. A big raking kick. I believe he was actually looking for the 40-20, but he had enough on it for it to roll end on end, and he did well to get back in goal, but the chase was equal to it. And after losing the ball up on the 20-metre, just 3 or 4 tackles ago, New Zealand now defend their line.
I was half expecting the pass out the back there as well. Nerves.
So Brent Kite is the freshman on for the Aussies. This is tackle one. This is him playing it back. This is illegal. Ashley Klein has spotted the infringement. Incorrect play the ball from the UK-based referee. 6-2 the count to the Kiwis.
And this is when you get a little bit of confusion. We've seen it all year in the NRL, where more often than not, the foot doesn't even touch the ball. Kite comes up with something similar.
Well,
not quite sure what that one was.
Well, did he?
The only thing I can get there is maybe not standing straight. But he certainly touched it and put it back between the legs.
To give you the context of what sort of game this is with the turnovers and the changes, normally we see high tackle counts. And Simon Mannering for the Kiwis is topping with 16, which is not a lot when you consider this game has nearly been in action for some 30-odd minutes.
So the Aussies called on to defend now after Kite seemingly walked off the mark, at least in the eyes of referee Klein. 12-6 the score if you joined us late. New Zealand got us underway with Vangana, and then back-to-back tries by Carmichael Hunt, converted by Thurston. And since then we've had some argy-bargy, some fisticuffs, and a pretty good game unfolding here in Auckland tonight. Kidwell floats it across, and the ball's been spilled. There was something building there. Soliola knew it. He shifted the ball to the flank, but Kangaroos come away with it.
Tamo Tupou nearly down the sideline. Soliola is a fine attacking player. Has got a good left arm fem with an offload. We get a chance to grab a replay of that. He's more than just a defensive player as Australia ruck it out. King to Lockyer working the ruck across the back. It's Mason, comes back in for some action. And cops it. Guess who's in there? Kidwell.
Good shot. Soliola led the way, but Kidwell, you're right, Darryl Watson far away. Lockyer under pressure. Thurston back on the inside. And now Kite straight up Main Street. Over the top she goes. And now to Hodges. He's got support. Inglis is chopped down. The Kiwis at 6s and 7s here as Hodges fires the pass. It's been intercepted, but Stacey Jones is a mile offside.
Well, the pass floated forward.
Gotta come all the way, guys.
And yes, it did look like they were up offside. Struggling. And this will slow the game down with a shot at goal. End-to-end stuff. Australia trying to now, the game's loosen up, work around the ruck. Lockyer going back across the ruck for sure. Thurston, nice inside ball, and Kite finds some open space. They've spread the Kiwis wide. Now they want to go through the middle and the pass to Hodges. Here I thought Weber done a great job on Inglis and could have just about put his foot over the sideline, but ends up with his shoe. Hodges out of dummy half. Wow.
It's a nervous time, DJ, though, when you get front rowers. Brent Kite being able to find the meters up the middle and then be able to link up and find the likes of Hodges. How dangerous, how threatening is the centre. But it's at this time of the play, the Kiwis need to find some points. Otherwise, some ominous signs starting to be created.
Well, I actually question whether they were offside or not. They didn't seem to actually get back. They were a metre off the line.
Well, he's got the call from the touchy
on the far side, and he's having a shocker.
Who happens to live in this country. Craig Pascoe, the sideline official. Here's the shot from Thurston. It's 3 from 3 off the boot for the man on screen. He adds another 2, and the buffer is now 8 points. 8 before the break. It's the Aussies at 14-6.
Key change could be coming right now, boys. Amelie back on, and Ruben Wickie's about to run on as well. But Sean Berrigan, the Clive Churchill medalist from this year's grand final, how devastating is he? Centre or 9? Who cares? Watch him.
What a player is Berrigan, one of 3 Churchill medalists featuring in this game tonight. They may have lost Kennedy and Johns and Menzies and whoever else, but still a galaxy of stars as Stacey Jones gets us underway once more.
Just where will Berrigan fill in, though? Such a versatile player.
Cameron Smith handing it on, and Kangaroos now with Luke O'Donnell. 8 before the break it is. 8 the margin. Kiwis looking to force the mistake as Smith, the Melbourne hooker, the Queensland hooker, he goes to ground. Lockyer with that left foot raking kick down the park, and Brad Webb, lovely control with the fingertips at the back.
Great take, urgency. Ball going over his head, it's not easy. Get straight to it. Slow play the ball, and Darren Lockyer comes up with a good sack, as you'd call it.
And how crucial is this passage of play coming up right now? The final 7 minutes in this first half. So much of it has belonged to the back end, has belonged to the Kiwis. The Kangaroos have lifted.
Just tell you, boys, Berrigan at 9, Cameron Smith off.
Well, they won't lose too much there, Berrigan, as the boys have already alluded. Well, he's a jack of all trades. 5 short of the halfway line as Stacey Jones launches the kick here for, it is Carmichael Hunt. Sense of urgency from the number 1 in this, his 2nd test match. He is taken there by Frank Pritchard. Inglis. 8 short of halfway. Here's Berrigan relieving Smith of the dummy half duties. Kite with a good surge across the halfway line.
Hasn't he had a wonderful season? 06, Manly, outstanding. Copped a bit of criticism the opening part of the season. Certainly came home strong and continuing that form here tonight. Some good carries.
Good work from Matai there. Gasnier is dangerous one-on-one. With a little bit of help from Stacey Jones, he snuffed out a play there for sure.
Penalty here. There was a reefing of the ball. According to referee Klein, this is within range, but they've elected to keep the pressure on as we watch the replay. And, well, hard to sell that to the referee when you can see it as clear as day. Here we go. Here's O'Mealy on tackle 1. 6 before the break. The Kangaroos probing, scheming, looking for their 3rd try of the night in this, the series opener. Trust you're enjoying the coverage here from Mount Smart tonight. World champions up against the current Tri-Nations champions. Thurston back on the inside. Inglis on a roving commission, it seems. He's lost it. No, another penalty.
Tackle was made and went back onto it. Wait, Cameron.
Will they take the shot? Will they keep the pressure on? They go for the ladder. Here's the barge from O'Mealy from close range. Right in front of the goalpost pads. Berrigan holds up the pass. Thurston gets away from Jones. Gasnier takes them on. 3 in the tackle, and he is restrained. Kiwis camped on their own goal line. Critical stage of the match. Kite looking to twist and turn.
Look at the left.
1 more to play. Thurston, Lockyer, holding up the pass. Again, it's building for the Kangaroos. Hodges, no obstruction, still the last. He crabs across field, beats 1, beats 2. There was obstruction. Fair enough too. The first one was, well, neither here nor there, but that was blatant.
I was just about to yell out, don't let that man run. You could sense something about to burn as he was crabbing his way across field. And here, they seem to get in each other's way, and this time it's Gasnier. And that can happen when you're running across field trying to link up with a player and whatnot. But the Kiwis, they were just hanging on there and managed to get out of jail. Only just. Ruben Wiki, the old-timer, handing the Kangaroos back the ball with a couple of sneaky little rips.
Much more competitive affair, this one tonight. And you look back to what happened in Brisbane when the Aussies put 50 on the Kiwis. 4 before the break. 8 points the margin. Here's Wiki, the captain, to Jones. Long-time teammates here in Auckland, of course. Kalis plays it back. And now hitting it up is the new kid on the block, Adam Blair. Did not start a game for the Melbourne Storm this year, but got to play in a grand final. Now in a test match. Pritchard, he hits it up. Jerome Ropati filling in a dummy half now for the Kiwis in the back end of the first half. One more to play here for the NZers as they go to Jones. The kick, he threads the needle towards the in goal. Carmichael Hunt trapped in the corner. Nowhere to go. They pick him up. They drive him back. They tip him up. He loses the ball. And we've got a goal line dropout coming up after all that.
Pivotal play. 3 minutes to go before the break. Stacey Jones puts a grubber in. Carmichael Hunt, you can see him trying to get to the ground, and the big guys, they just suspend him a little bit, then they get the numbers in and drive him back. And he looks as though he's going to run out of the in goal, but forgets to take the ball with him.
Stacey Jones missed the mid-season test match, of course, did play against Great Britain in that capitulation against the Lions when the Kiwis were clearly under strength. Here they go, they've got a shot at Australia just before the break, and this is Blair.
What about that kick? 63 metres from Darren Lockyer. Unbelievable.
Not the first time we've seen it either this season, what has been a stellar year for the Brisbane, Queensland and Australian captain as Ricky hits it up and takes him stopping. 14 metres out, they go to Jones at first receiver. Holds up the pass for Pritchard. The Aussies on their own goal line all of a sudden. Jones calling the shots. Passes to nobody. Here goes Gasnier. Has he got the pace? Mannering gives chase. Mannering on Gasnier. He's the only man that can get him. Gasnier's got plenty of pace and will get there. Remarkable. A try from nothing, and there is no substitute for pace. Just ask Mark Gasnier. He has streeted the field. Mannering gave chase, couldn't get there, and what a crucial try for the Kangaroos. It is 18-6 with half-time almost upon us.
Cruel. When the last play seemed to be favouring the Kiwi, the ball from the Kiwi, should I say, from Stacey Jones going wide with no real option runners, no one deep, and the flat pass gets picked up. A valiant effort, valiant from Mannering. He tries a last lunge there. I thought he had him earlier on when he's jinked, and here it is from Stacey. Just needed someone, I think Webb round the back, someone like that to give him another option. And as the ball pushed up wide, we see Ropati outside of Mannering. Perhaps he was one that we was looking for from Jones, and this is the end of it. And that will silence the crowd and a few of the rest of us as well.
Gasnier, 4 tries in 5 games last year. Certainly needs no encouragement to get across the stripe. St George Illawarra star, he was certainly tested by Mannering. Great one-on-one duel, right up the park it was.
Mannering possibly showing more speed than what a lot of people believed he had. And now Jonathan Thurston spent plenty of time with the Dogs kicking goals in reserve grade. Also spent a bit of time with Ricky Stewart when Stewart was coaching there. Some time behind Azamil Masri. Loves this sort of kick.
The back end of his season, of course, with North Queensland plagued by injury, but he is back. Back for the Tri Nations. Off the tee. Looks good, curling around. Looks great. Right over the crossbar. As the siren sounds in the background, the Kiwis, they scored the first try, but since then the Aussies have gone bang, bang, bang. 3 straight tries. They lead by 14. Half-time at Mount Smart, and it's the Kangaroos leading New Zealand 20 points to 6 in game 1 of the Gillette Tri Nations. Stick with us. More to come from Mount Smart right after the break. Welcome back to Mount Smart Stadium, where we are counting down before kickoff here in the second half of this series opener in the Gillette Tri Nations, where Brian McLennan's men in black have some work to do. It must be said, they got off to a pretty good start through Vangana, but since then, of course, the Kangaroos, 3 converted tries plus a penalty goal. Thurston perfect tonight, 4 from 4 off the boot, and it's the Kangaroos by 14 at the split.
the Kiwis all the work in front of them for sure. And this will be a real test for Coach Blue McLennan to get his guys up and overcome the deficit. The Australian team will be the first out onto the field again, you would imagine. But the Kiwis have a task at hand as Darren Lockyer will bring the side out. And they have spread the workload around reasonably well. Mistake-free, Cameron Smith has had a good 30 minutes before being replaced by Berrigan. The halves have worked well. They got the ball to Lockyer when they wanted to. And for the Kiwis, Ruben Wiki, well, he'll lead by example and from the front. But what they've done is they've used Vatuvai and Tupou to carry the ball forward. And both those players from the wing, while it's good to have good touches, has taken some of the carry off the likes of Asatasi and Pulatua, who have just got 2 runs between them. So the workload needs to be shared a lot more between the Kiwi forwards, leaving our backs fresh for the defensive tasks that will come in the second half.
Let's go downstairs and catch up with the Kangaroos, and Craig Young, the team manager for the Aussies, is standing by with Peter.
Craig, that try there by Gaznia just on half-time, that was certainly something you needed.
Yeah, it certainly helped. We're just lacking a little bit of cohesion at the moment. That's understandable, but as I said, we're confident we can go on with the job.
And as a former front rower, some of those collisions out there, they've been good.
Yeah, which you'd expect for a test match. No, it's been a good contest so far.
And feeling confident for the back half?
Yeah, we are, yeah.
Cheers.
Here we go, folks. Second half action underway in the series opener. And we go downstairs, and Stephen, you've got a special guest.
Nathan Feen's been inside the Kiwi dressing room. What was said?
Mate, yeah, we just have to work a little bit harder on winning and dominating the ruck. The Aussies are just winning that ground battle at the moment. We just need to get a bit more pressure on their kicking game. The Aussies have had the field possession territory-wise.
How much puffed it out of the sides of the Gaznia try just before the split take?
Mate, yeah, it was tough, but the boys are really focused in there, and they know if they can stick to the game plan, we can come through with it.
Thanks for your time, mate. Good luck.
Cheers, guys.
And that Nathan Feen, the voice of him now, well, in the Kiwi squad, and he is the man New Zealand have missed out there in the first half. The guys at dummy half, while they haven't done a bad job, aren't experienced here. And the control around that area this year, Feen with the Warriors, was outstanding.
15-5, the missed tackle count against the hosts here for this one. Kangaroos looking to start the series on a high note, keeping in mind they have a poor record since 1990. Just 2 times in a series have they got off to a winning start. And this will again help their cause. Is just going a little too far in the eyes of Ashley Klein.
Flipping the player past the horizontal into a vertical position. You can feel the hurt from here. The hurt from the fact you've given away a penalty and some more field position.
Here's O'Mealy. And out the back door. Good second phase here from the green and goals, and Darren Lockyer. 2 tries on his last visit here in the green and goal. He plays it back. 30 out from the Kiwi goal line. Hindmarsh hits it up. Standing. Finally, they put him to ground. Sean Berrigan, the Churchill medalist, gives it on to Thurston. Here's the switch. Gaznia. And out the back door, it was sloppy, risky, and it pays off because it's 6 more. That play of the ball was an absolute shocker. The referee says play on. Can you believe that? Now he's called it up. We'll talk about a belated call. I could have had a cup of tea.
Unbelievable. At this level, for sure. The touchies come in and wade into it. Has to, because the ref has called play on. But what an absolute mess. They go back up the middle of the ruck with a second man play, and the ball gets lost there. So there, well, there's a scrum there, and he's called play on. Maybe he's ruled the ball went backwards for sure. And as Berrigan gets, you watch this. Tell me this is a play of the ball. Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, and we'll wave play on. You got to be kidding.
All you kids at home, that's not how you do it. Far from it. Kiwis breathing a sigh of relief. More pressure, more tackling is not exactly what they were looking for. Pritchard, the hit and spin before the line. Still trapped inside their 30-metre zone, the Kiwis, although they've rectified that now thanks to the efforts of their captain, their inspirational forward leader, Ruben Wiki. He plays it back, zipping out a dummy half now. Jerome Ropati, a couple of metres short of halfway, and here comes the lunge. There goes the kick off the boot of Brent Webb. And a very well-weighted kick to Matt King into the in goal. A few nervous moments. Oh, they go high on the big man, but play continues. Brent Webb was searching.
Good kick there, working the ball off their own line. Set of 6 now. They need to close it up and push in, get some numbers into the tackle. 2 in that one. That's the minimum.
O'Donnell got away from Vagana, but here comes again the Kiwi standoff. With his try in the first half, we should point out too, he became the most prolific try-scoring Kiwi in Test history, eclipsing the record previously held by Sean Hoppy with 17. So a fine individual honour for Vagana as the Kangaroos launch an attack from inside their own half, and they keep it going. Lockyer goes the blind side. There goes King. Here goes the kick. Thurston looking for the bounce. The chase is on. The Kiwis clean it up. Tupou's got work to do. Plenty of work. Oh, big Barge lost the pill. They cough it up on their own goal line. Can you believe that?
What I saw down the other end there, DJ, you said great kick. And I was so close to coming in, it would be a great kick if what they do in the next 5 tackles makes it a great kick. And that was about keeping it down there. They came out too easy. Lockyer too smart. Finding the nice touch. Tame Tupou so nearly getting out with a big play. But it all came unstuck again.
Hodges, what about the shot from Hodges? He didn't miss.
Give credit, what a great shot. That's a centre on a winger. It's more like a front rower on a front rower for sure, or a second rower, I should say. But special passage of play.
The Aussies in prime real estate.
Prime real estate. Craig Young made reference to the fact that they were lacking a little bit of cohesion in the first 40. Spooky.
Still no change to the half-time score. 4.5 gone, second stanza. And the Aussies, they're not far away, looking for try number 4. Playing it back, Andrew Ryan. They come this short side. Now the switch from Thurston to O'Mealy. He is swapped. Good read defensively from Pritchard. Kiwis again camped on their own goal line. Lockyer. And it goes to ground. The old pet play involving Carmichael Hunt, which has become an institution with the Broncos, but on that occasion, it comes to nothing.
Trying to work Inglis into this game, Greg Inglis and Steve Matai will get some attention. The left-hand edge of the Kiwis is the side that the Kangaroos have come down all evening, and that's Matai's side. And while it's not been his problem on his own collectively, we need to work better on that side of the field. That's Gasnier's side. Swinging arm goes missing there. And Matai bends himself back. Oh, and your left knee, Steve, is not supposed to do that. Hobbling for sure and parked himself out on the wing here now. See how and keep an eye on him for the next 5.
So New Zealand here need to get some carries. Nothing too fancy. Ball security so important with them trailing by 14. 25 out from their own goal line. Rotaty serves it up for Wiki. And in they come. O'Mealy leading the charge defensively for the Australians with the help of Hindmarsh. Something he does so well, of course. What a machine he has been for the Parramatta Club. Mannering to Kalis. Kite is there to greet him. 4 short of halfway. 1 more to play with New Zealand. They go to Jones. There goes the kick, and here comes King with the catch. Good chase required. And they bang him down in numbers. Carmichael Hunt. 2 tries already in this just his second test match. Berrigan to O'Donnell. Andrew Ryan. Bulldog captain, 10 short of halfway. And that hurts. Going on with the job, Vagana. And that can prove costly against a team like the Kangaroos.
Well, the first penalty of the match for actually holding down, can you believe? Nigel, just too long. Andrew Ryan milks it, as you'd expect. If he's just defended for a while, get ready to defend again.
Advice from the referee for Vagana as the Kiwis have to line up here once more. Kite on tackle 1 for the Aussies.
Hands down, George. Simon!
Hindmarsh.
Surrender!
Centre of the ground, 29 out. Berrigan comes the right side. Now the switch. Lockyer across to Thurston. Set move from the Kangaroos, and away goes Inglis, and he'll score straight up the middle.
They have persisted all night going back into the centre.
Just check to see whether one of the players got taken out. So check for instruction marker.
Rehearsed play from the Kangaroos. Ricky Shaw would be pleased. He'll be even more pleased if he gets a green light shortly.
Well, just checking whether or not there's obstruction. But it's a play that they've persisted. We saw it in the first 40, coming back down the middle, coming back from where they've just come from. I'm not quite sure where the obstruction occurred. But it had to have taken place very early on in the play.
Well, he's looking for the obstruction here of Carmichael Hunt as he's come into play there, as Inglis has worked his way around the back. But the pass seemed to be well clear of Carmichael Hunt. Well, it's possibly just a bad read on the Kiwis' part.
Well, I'll tell you what, the Kangaroos have already made up their mind. They've gone back to the halfway mark. Not quite sure whether Blair would have been able to get anywhere near Inglis.
I don't think he was denied an opportunity to make the tackle. That's exactly what they're reviewing here. Did he have any chance of getting there?
You've got to go with those in front at the moment who are now back down on their goal line.
Well, we've got two video referees just for the record, one from either side of the ditch. Ian McIntosh from here in New Zealand, Steve Nash from Australia. They've concurred. They say no try, no try. I repeat, Inglis is denied. Look at the Kangaroos. Look at the Kangaroos. They're coming from all over the ground. Brian McLennan working the walkie-talkie, but the Kangaroos were in formation waiting for the restart.
They were given an opportunity at around the 25th minute mark to get back in the game with the penalty on the back of King getting up and having a crack at Vatuvei. And we saw a bit of a charge. They now need to take this opportunity as well and make it a turning point.
Well, we've got more than half an hour to go. Is this a big turning point in the game or what? Far from over. Plenty of time for the Kiwis if they are good enough.
Turning point, a bit like the kick that we referred to not long ago. Turning point if you make it one.
Over the top, bouncing ball. The play continues. Far too Vai is away. The beast they call him. That's why. Legs popping like pistons. He does take some stopping. Jones, cut out ball across now to Blair, and the Stormtrooper. He is chopped down by Hindmarsh. Chance here for the Kiwis. Jones looking to set it up. Kidwell is in reverse. He finds the turf at Mount Smart.
Thought they should have kept going on the open side. They had numbers.
Jones goes the short side. Nothing doing here for Saiola. Far side of the ground. One more tackle to play with. Jones, good pick up. Lovely hands. Cross-field kick. King's missed it. Bouncing ball. And Darren Lockyer saves the day. And nearly had a head-on collision.
How often does something good come from nothing? It was a pass that went to the ground. It was well taken there by Stacey around his ankles. And then a kick that right on the outskirts, no one was paying attention to. Everybody thinking it was going to be ended. Centre.
Well, Darren Lockyer there to save the day and nearly gets a ride on the motorbike as well.
Let's go, guys.
Ends up on the concrete. Nasty to see. You don't like seeing that. But New Zealand, a good attacking chance. A good cross kick over the top. No one actually got up to get it. And now they'll get their first repeat set of 6.
Lockyer from under his own crossbar. He has got a big boot, of course. This time they trap it on the 50. Wiki brings it back on tackle 1.
And the game now has to find some movement with that ball. It's about early in the tackle, perhaps setting it up. But now they've got to find some second phase. They've got to play some tip on. Look to Blair. Look to Pritchard. They go wide, they find Kidwell.
Kidwell, Thurston around the bootlaces. Berrigan over the top. Bunganar to Jones. Webb is up from fullback and got clobbered, absolutely smashed by Luke O'Donnell. Here's Stacey Jones, and the ball goes to ground. Knocked back is the call. Interesting to say the least. A lucky break perhaps for New Zealand. They need more of that. Jones, the crossfield kick. Who will catch this? Bouncing ball, no, didn't find the deck. Hodges has got it under control for the Aussies.
They were well positioned to take that one. They stopped back always going to favour the attacking player, Hodges. He read it well and he just came into it. He timed it and he extinguished any threat that was coming from the Kiwis.
It was a disappointing end to a repeat set of 6, finishing some 15 metres off the Australian line with the kick, not even getting close to the Australian try line.
He did lose it. He's lost the ball. Carmichael Hunt is spinning chips. Another mistake against the visitors. More than handy field position here for New Zealand.
And we go back to that previous play. We talked about a turning point.
He's trying to make a mule of that there. He's got to hold it.
Kangaroos not happy with the call, but it's gone. But they need to find someone to create something to find a play.
Let's see what they've got in this set of 6. Stacey Jones off the back. And this is area Tito. His work goes around the outside where normally you get close to the line. And Sonny Bill would be your target on the right-hand edge.
No Sonny Bill, of course. Williams injured for this one. So too Benji Marshall. A number of key players, marquee players missing for New Zealand. 10 out from the Aussie goal line. Pritchard, he hits it up.
So forget about talking about those who are not here. Pritchard, there's where you're looking for your tip on.
5 metres out. Jones looking to orchestrate something here for New Zealand. Here's Kidwell, an experienced campaigner. Some second phase with Jones and Bungana. He is claimed by Thurston. Still no change to the halftime score. In this, the series opener of the Gillette Tri-Nations. Kidwell once more. Out the back door she comes. Blair. Down, it's gone to ground. There's a knock on. The first one perhaps not, but the second one, no need for further explanation.
There's the right play as well. That Australia flat-footed. They dropped the ball back off on the inside, and Blair getting a right arm carry, being able to offload back on the inside, but the execution wasn't quite there. Kidwell back to Blair, gets arm free, well only half free. The presence of an Australian over the top, spoiling the play.
Well, at no stage yet have the Kangaroos looked threatened. Their body language after every play where they sense not so much that they've got out of jail, but they've been able to extinguish what's been thrown at them. Their body language has always been one of confident, well composed, rally together, let's go again.
Kiwi defence has been much stiffer tonight than their last couple of test matches. Just for the record, they conceded nearly 100 points in those games. Different kettle of fish here tonight for the Kangaroos in game 1. Australia just beyond the 30-metre line. This is Justin Hodges. Won a premiership with the Roosters, and now, of course, this year picked up another one with the Broncos. Andrew Ryan, the man they call the Bobcat, he gets a spell. Here's Seven Asiva hitting it up. Fifth and final has been signalled by Ashley Klein. And here come the blind side with Thurston, and then the kick, low trajectory too. And a very handy kick. It finds the in goal. Some work here for Brent Webb. He claps on the afterburners, but he can't split them.
Good pressure on Thurston from Ruben Wiki, and an absolute mare of a bounce for our fullback and Webb. He tidies up well.
25 minutes remaining in the test match. Australia yet to win game 1 of the Tri-Nations in any year. Not a great record, far from it. I'm sure that was addressed during the week by coach Ricky Stewart, and this just his second test match. Off to Cronulla, of course, next year in the NRL after his dumping of the Roosters. He has moulded a very close-knit side here as Atazi makes some inroads for New Zealand. They are far from gone here with one more to play on this set. The kick from Jones. Plenty of hang time. Carmichael Hunt, no, it's King with the catch.
Still moments of still finding combinations and a bit of cohesion by the Kangaroos, but pleasing to Ricky Stewart has to be that right across the park, all the key players have played strong tonight. Hodges, Carmichael Hunt, Lockyer, Cameron Smith, and you haven't even got too far into the pack as well. Petro Seven-Asiva about to do another carry. Finds Hindmarsh, he's been outstanding.
The workaholic, representative Ford plays it back. Lockyer got it across here to Kite. The Manly front rower slips it out the back. It was sloppy, but it's okay. Thurston, he picks up the scraps and takes the settler.
But it's back to 0 as well. Touch was the call.
O'Donnell. Berrigan. Lockyer. It's the Bronco connection here. Nice ball to Thurston, but what a tackle, what a shot. Vatuvei gave him everything, and he forced the mistake. Big play it was.
Been good defensively. Vatuvei. The pass from Lockyer was brilliant, but the tackle from Vatuvei snuffed it out. They get an edge here, a left hand edge of the Kiwis once again, and the hands from Lockyer brilliant. Thurston catches the ball, and the winger same time.
Lock in, ready.
Been strong in around the ruck, coming across the face, coming back from where you just come from.
He's learnt so much too, Peter. Made his debut, of course, in the corresponding game last year, part of the triumphant Kiwi side at Allen Road against the Kangaroos at the back end of last year. Steve Matai now. Australia's side of halfway by a couple of metres. And this will certainly help New Zealand's cause.
And with Ruben Wiki being substituted for the first time in the second half, this player here, Tony Puleatua, number 12, entering the field. In his first part of this match, he did not have a carry with the football, made some 10 tackles, but did not get a carry. And that's what we'll need him to do. He'll need more than one, and he'll need a dozen of them.
Puleatua here on tackle one, 10 metres out. They come the blind side. Pritchard, big unit for a second rower, an explosive customer. Plays it back, and they come to Jones, the first receiver. Now to Webb, who's chiming in from fullback. A show and go. Comes across to Soliola. He can create something out wide. And now going to ground is Tame Tupo. Side to side it was from New Zealand. Blair looking to bust them straight up the guts. He goes to ground.
Hasn't he looked threatening every time with ball in hand?
Jones. Across now to Puleatua. He goes to ground, and there's one more to play with here. They need points. They need them now. It comes across to Ropati. He claims the try. He gets the try. And this game is not over, folks. Don't go anywhere. More than 20 minutes to go. And the Kiwis are back in this one on the back of the try to Ropati at 20-10. And there's a sitter of a conversion coming right up in a sec or two. What a try it was.
Well, the pleasing part about the 4-pointer was perhaps there was nothing doing. It looked as though they weren't going to find a hind end to their set of 6. But Jerome had other ideas, just being able to swivel, stay alive, and in the tackle of Hindmarsh was able to find himself over the line.
Scored a similar try in Brisbane. Jerome knows his way to the try line. And it was a bit of footwork and a bit of guile, should we say. They've got New Zealand's second try, well needed. Convert this.
Sorry, DJ, there's also perhaps a sense of Hindmarsh. He's working overtime, just clocked off for a slight second. This puts him back in the game. 8 points separating. It gives them something.
On the last was Jerome Ropati. He had plenty of work to do, planting the ball on the chalk. And the Kiwis get set to receive the football from halfway. Off the boot of Lockyer we go. New Zealand with their tails up perhaps, and why not, as Azatazi rises here to play the football on tackle one.
They can take a lot out of the 4-pointer from Jerome, but it's as DJ, as you mentioned, Puleatua, capable, has the ability to find the offload, needs to deliver, and he needs to bring it now.
Penrith captain there, just playing the ball back. That's come out the back. That's all right. Webb's got it. It wasn't pretty, but they will take that. They maintain possession, and that is so important at this critical stage. Jones back on the inside. There's a Tazi. Off to Redfern, of course, during the summer months. To link up with a new look South Sydney. Here's Webb with the kick into the corner. Carmichael Hunt. Will they jam him? Will they what? They pick him up again.
And well played Webb on that one. He is coming back across behind the ruck. And he hinted to Stacey Jones, persists with the left. And he went exactly there.
Inglis. Oh, dear oh dear. They were lining up. They were queuing up for the rookie. Hodges. Maitua hasn't got the pace to go around, but he will take the tackle here. 20 out from his own goal line. Hodges looks to milk the penalty. The consummate professional he is.
Some of the Kiwis slow to get back online. Nigel Vagana took an injury there, and Puliaturla nearly wiped himself out on the post, which means there's 2 out of the line. And Sivanasiva gets some attention. Asatasi with the help from Stacey Jones.
Lockyer got the kick away. Blair was certainly rushing him. Here's Webb.
Costa, Willie Mason's up on the sideline ready to go. I've got to say one thing. If they're going to target anyone right now, Willie Mason's the man. That right eye is still not right, and you know he's feeling it. You know he's uncomfortable. Look at that. Isn't that a beauty? He does not feel comfortable. He may be a warrior tonight, but boy, I tell you what, if you're going to target someone, have a crack at Willie again.
Well, what about that shiner, fellas? How good is that? 10 out of 10.
Does it make him look any better, you reckon?
You're telling the story.
Particularly if you're looking.
Chant goes up for New Zealand here. Tony Puliaturla goes to ground. A margin back to 8 points, of course, on the back of the try that was converted. Ropati's try, that is. Here's the up and under. Matt King's got a good look at the football. Can he soar above the pack or what?
Well, can he what? Both wingmen have been outstanding in the air tonight. Inglis on the other side, King on this side. All occasions have been able to defuse it. They've done well in the air.
Stacey Jones has a fine short kicking game, and I'd love to see him go to the line and grub the ball in behind these guys, make them get down, the big guys, as are our guys on the wings, but make King and the likes of Inglis get the ball bouncing in behind them. And when they go down with some pressure coming from behind you, mistakes come that way. They are good in the air.
Thurston goes to Hodges. Showing those evasive skills that we've come to expect. Hindmarsh toiling away for the Kangaroos. This mop top second row forward. Lockyer. Maitua, what a pass was it? Forward. Yes, we've got a forward pass. The Kiwis, they've dodged a bullet here because this, well, it could have gone either way.
The right-hand edge with Soliola at centre has been New Zealand's best tonight. They go back this way. Soliola will make the tackle on Maitua, but a fine ball on the inside. And then Thurston, that one over the top. You got it right. Look at the referee. He's in line. He knows what he's doing.
I'll tell you what, though. They're teasing on that right edge here, the left-hand attack of the Kangaroos. They went there the play before. They found a width in the passing game to Thurston, which was gave them an opportunity for Hodges to create some number, one-on-one. They came back one and then went again. Persistence will find a result.
Lovely skills it was too from the new face. Reni Maitua getting the nod for this test match, for this series opener with the injury to Bronco Hartman. Tony Carroll, former Kiwi international himself, of course, cast your mind back to that 2000 World Cup final at Old Trafford. 15 minutes to go in this one. 20 plays 12. It was 20-6 at the break. 10 short of halfway. Halatau plays it back. It comes to Jones. He got the kick away. No problems with that. Carmichael Hunt back in the town where he was born before moving across the Tasman with his family. 2 tries tonight. And they put him under a lot of pressure during the course of this one. Some of the fans thought that pass to Kite was forward.
Wouldn't the fans have wished for that kick to go a little bit more into the corner? Really force them to come out of the corners, work him over defensively. Not been given that opportunity. Carmichael taking on the 20, then finding he's tackled on the 40. Second play. They're in Kiwis territory, and they get the penalty to beat.
More pressure coming up here on the home side. 17 penalties in all here tonight. Ashley Klein, this is his second Trans-Tasman appointment. He will also be in action when the series moves to the Telstra Dome in Melbourne next Saturday night. Here's Thurston turning it back for O'Mealy. One ex-Bulldog to a current Bulldog. Cameron Smith, Thurston. Mason hits it up. Mason goes up the middle. Mason reaching out. Wreaking havoc since coming back on. battered and bruised or not. Here's O'Mealy, there's the try, that should seal it. Mark O'Mealy bulldozes his way, the Bulldog strongman from close range, and that should seal it for the Kangaroos in this, the series opener. 24-12 with a kick coming up, 13 to go.
Well, they continue to go behind the ruck, and Mason comes from the right-hand side. He gets the ball here from Thurston, goes in behind a couple of his players there for sure, and then charges towards the line. That takes Webb out, and as they get set, Halatau and also Matai are out on this left-hand edge, and look where he goes, the big guy, straight between them. Good body presence, big unit, big frame, squashes it with that big belly.
And the key word that perhaps describes the difference between the two sides is one of directness. Mason first. Yes, there's a lot of interpassing going on, a lot of changing of angles in behind the ruck, but then you have players straightening it up. Willie Mason and then O'Mealy. Persistence gets a result.
Mark O'Mealy, what an enforcer he has been, of course, in recent times for the Bulldogs under Steve Folkes, one of the great dogs of war from the 1980s. And Jonathan Thurston starting a test match for the first time ever here tonight, following the retirement of the incomparable Andrew Johns. Representative retired, that is, of course. Here's the kick. He's just squeezed it in. He adds another 2, and mathematically it becomes so difficult, if not impossible now. The margin out to 14 with 11 to go.
I think it's more to do with body language and composure and what we've seen already played out in the previous 69 minutes. That's one of being able to create opportunities and be able to finish. The Kangaroos have been able to do that for most of the game. Rusty at times, but the longer this game goes on, the more likely they look as though they're capable of being able to get across the line.
Another restart for New Zealand, something that they would not be wanting, something they'd be dreading. But they've got to get on with it as Mason brings it back, looking to torment them once more, right up the middle. Nathan Hindmarsh, still motoring. Maitua on the fringe of the ruck, looking to make some inroads at the back end of this test match. Look at the missed tackle count. 26 plays 8 against the Kiwis. A big stat if there ever was one.
Big question marks, or one of the question marks coming into it was one of conditioning. So many players not involved in football for some time. A lot easier for the likes of Jonathan Thurston, who's also been out of footy for a while. So much easier to play on the back of side that's going forward. Nice feed there by Webber to get out of trouble. But again, met by a Kangaroo defensive line, 3 involved, forcing the Kiwis again to come out of their own. And often that's the biggest difference. A number of times you've been forced to come out of your red zone. Kangaroos have been dominant.
I just think the Kangaroos have played to instruction tonight. Their plays around the ruck. The players have got the ball at the right times, and I'm talking about Lockyer and also Thurston. Thurston's done some great stuff in behind the ruck, dropping players off, coming back on the angles. And Lockyer, well, while he's throwing long balls across the ruck, he's also picked up players out wide as well. They've just played to instruction, exactly as Ricky Stewart would have wanted.
We have moved into the final 10 minutes of the series opener, and this the Gillette Tri-Nations of season 06. Carmichael Hunt looks to set it up for Inglis. Toying with a couple of defenders there, the big man. They have got big backs, haven't they, the Aussies? Here's another one, King. Pops a shot there from Steve Matai. Dean Halatau downstairs. Gasnier scored that big try in the context of the game just before halftime and blew the lead out to 14 effectively as the Kangaroos go wide once more. Hodges.
Once again, the right-hand edge of New Zealand holds up well. Soliola and also Tupou out there doing a fine job.
Good front on defence from Halatau, although he looks like he's paid the price for that shot on O'Mealy. Here's the kick from Smith. Taken on the full by Tupou. Oh, they come in numbers. Big body contact on the Brisbane winger. He takes the treatment.
Well, a couple of weeks ago they were hugging each other. They were having a beer together, celebrating a win, a grand final. Tonight, get out of my way.
I love watching players bring the ball back once a kick's gone down. Carmichael Hunt, you have a look when he brings the ball back, he'll suss the line out and pick out Stacey Jones and just run straight at him. And Darren Lockyer, well, he gets the same sort of treatment from the New Zealand players.
Here's Mannering. Looking to fool the defence. He slips it out the back, rather sneaky stuff indeed. They keep it going through Webb and across to Azatazi. He beats one, he floats it. Play on! Australia on the top here. Away goes Pulatua. He does keep it going. He got it back across to Kedwell. Well, quite staggering how they managed to keep it going. Brett Webb, Jones, Ricky, one-on-one. He flings it out. It's been intercepted by Inglis. And the Aussies can breathe easy.
The ball out the back, and they just managed to get a hold of Inglis. I thought Pulatua might have pinned his ears back and pretended he was a winger when he had the ball in the break, as King brings it right back to halfway. Andrew Ryan about to get his wishes for another boarding pass, take some more part in this match. As Hallertau front on.
Sometimes it's hard to resist the temptation when you're in the open. You tend to pull up and go looking for support, where sometimes perhaps a better go is just pin your ears and let them get to you. Nigel Wagner was creeping.
Well, there's a rare sight. Hindmarsh getting a spell. That pass was forward and it's been called accordingly. The touch judge, the Aussie touch judge, Ben Cummins, making the call on the eastern side of the ground. As the clock winds down, we have 6.5 to go here with the Aussies coasting at 26-12.
Persistent of anything, and Inglis, well, he's already in front of Thurston. By the time Thurston's got the football and the correct decision, by my counting, it's the third or fourth time forward passes from Thurston today, and that's just learning to play with players. Expect that combination to get a little bit better in the next few weeks.
4 tries to 2. It has been here tonight. The Kangaroos coming into this as raging hot favourites. And you get the impression we might have a few more points coming in this one.
Just watching Nigel Wagner downstairs on the bike. Flinched as Tame Tupo going into the 5-8. Coming up with the error.
Here's Hodges out wide. 20 up from the goal line. They come back to Carmichael Hunt, first receiver. For and against, of course, need I remind you, gentlemen, so important for this series, as it is every year. What a tackle, what a rib tickler! Big hit from Vatuvai. Play continues. Everyone was just gobsmacked with the tackle, and why not? The Kangaroos have got a mission here. They're looking for more points. They are hungry. O'Neilly, he's got a big appetite. He plays it back to Cameron Smith. Lockyer. Thurston over the top in the corner. Greg Inglis on debut. Claims 4 points in the corner. He was denied earlier, but again they will check it out upstairs.
Well, have they got it right? Thurston to Inglis looks spectacular, using the field, the full width. Some spectacular action. Darren Lockyer involved, questioning, did you get it down? The replay will tell us. Takes a high ball out in front. Does his foot touch the line? No. Oh, does so well to stay inside. And great finish. Little finger on there, Ropo.
Great finish, an absolute star. The ability to be able to keep himself just within centimetres and still enough athleticism to go to air and in full flight.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Have a look at this. This is how you do it. All style. I bet you he's a right-hander too, carrying the ball in the left hand like that. Unreal.
The key there is being able to take the impact. Tame Tupo, he's no midget. There's a big player defensively coming upon you and exposes the full side of his body. Courage, and still able to control the ball in one hand. Surprised, if anything but.
Well, there's confirmation again. Not for the first time tonight. We have benefit of the doubt. try on debut for the Queensland superstar in the making, Greg Inglis, and it is 30-12. And happy faces all round for the Kangaroos.
All looking for a big hole here. Soliola drifts out and they shift the ball wide. And by the whisker, he rips in close to that sideline. Good play, Australia. He just sensed it was coming at the death. And Thurston, he finally gets one right.
Well, it's been another sit-up-and-take notice performance from the Australians. I'm sure our UK viewers watching this one through Sky Sports in Britain, also the BBC taking the coverage here from Auckland in New Zealand tonight, would be taking it all in as Australia look to reassert their world dominance, of course losing an international series last year for the first time since 1978. Of course, Great Britain have already started arriving down under. I know all those UK viewers will be eagerly awaiting the Super League Grand Final tomorrow morning, New Zealand time. Big game, of course, at Old Trafford. For our New Zealand audience, you'll see the action live on Sky Sport. St Helens up against Hull FC. Humbersiders, of course, making their first trip to Old Trafford for a Super League decider. So much expected of GB in this series as they look to make amends from last year. But here in Auckland tonight, in the series opener, it's been all the Kangaroos. The Thurston kick is waved away for the first time. 3 minutes to go here, and it's Australia at 30 points to 12.
The defence of the Kiwis out wide, the up and in, has been punishing at times. And here you see, whoa, Vatuvai, up he goes. But Australia, presence of mind as Gavnier collects the ball and charges forward again. Not the first time they've come in off their wing tonight. Makes a spectacular defence.
Yet another restart for the men in black. Here's Mason, Kiwi-born Kangaroo front row forward, who of course did not start the game tonight. We were told before kick-off that it would be as per the program, but Ricky Stewart making some last-minute changes. The Aussies looking for more points, as I say, for and against. So important. 18-point ball game at the moment in the dying stages. Here's Andrew Ryan on a run from dummy half.
Yeah, look, Alfie on TV, look.
Seven Asiva hits it up. He crosses halfway. Smith goes the left side. Thurston fires the pass. Inglis is away. A little kick, a little dab. Knocked back from Ryan. Play continues. That's okay, says Klein. Still the last. Lockyer keeps it going. How did he do that? Smith. He floats it across the ground. That pass was forward. So we'll have a turnover here. Nathan Feen, you can see the injured Kiwi declaring his allegiance to New Zealand. This is not a good look here for the Aussies, with Rennie Maitua being assisted from the ground by the Aussie trainer, Ronnie Palmer.
Tony Ayu, the physio, and this is exactly what you don't want in the last few minutes after the result is already a foregone conclusion, is having your players injured. The start of the series, just the first match of this tri-series. Both these teams, I'm sure, will play a part come the end of it as well, although the English will have something to say about that.
So it's purely academic, of course, at this point in time. Jones is still trying. So too Hallertown up the middle. He goes past Carmichael. Luckily for the Aussies, Matt King was back there to save the day. Looking for the consolation. Try in the final 60 seconds. And in the corner, they claim for the points through Vatuvai. Once more, they will check the tape. Manu Vatuvai, this rampaging winger, in the corner here, subject to confirmation from high above. And it looks okay for mine on that replay.
Great to see. Does well himself. We give Inglis a rap a couple of minutes ago in the very far corner on the opposite side of the field. And now we'll give Vatuvai a rap as well. Did well. This time he carries the ball on the inside arm as against Inglis on the outside arm, but it doesn't matter. He gets it down. Not easy to do. Catch and score pretty much in the one movement, especially when you're waiting for the pass.
Again, the two men upstairs have conferred they oblige from a New Zealand point of view. So the Kiwis looking to finish this on a positive note as best they can. The numbers are in the frame here with precious seconds remaining at 30-16 with a kick coming up.
A nice little ball from Stacey Jones. One of the few times we've seen him take it to the line tonight. And Hallertau, I thought he might have get an arm free here. You see Matai whack his finger up, calling for the ball. But they do go back that side. And Vatuvai squeezes it in. Fine effort.
Well, he started as a prop, and with legs like that, why not? Jones from out wide has piloted this one between the uprights. 2 points to count. He converts the try at the death, and that is full time. 5 tries to 3. The Kangaroos start the Tri-Nations on a winning note. They get the job done here in Auckland, defeating the current champions, New Zealand, 30 points to 18. Fans head for the turnstiles, obviously disappointed here. Jonathan Thurston, what a game from him tonight, as I say, starting in the green and gold for the first time. Big shoes to fill, with Johns, of course, putting the cue in the rack in test match football. The fans obviously getting value for money as well, and I'm sure there'll be plenty of them in good numbers at the Telstra Dome next Saturday night. Let's go downstairs, and Stephen is standing by with the Aussie captain.
Job well done, Darren.
Yeah, it was a tough match, you know, and we always expected that. I thought the boys hung in there well in the first half, and I think 20-6 at half time, we were pretty confident.
What were these stand-up performances for you tonight from your boys?
Oh, I thought I just saw we grounded out pretty well. I thought the guys hadn't played footy for a while. Like Jonathan Thurston played well. Carmichael was good at the back, and all the debutants played well as well. Bodes well for the rest of the series, there, doesn't it? It does, mate. I mean, both teams will want to build on that, and you know, we can only get better, and as will New Zealand.
All right, we'll see you in Melbourne next week.
Thanks, mate.
Yes, looking forward to that. And the man who will be in the Victorian capital, they call him Special K. He's with Peter.
Carmichael, a continuation, I guess, of what happened with the Broncos this year. Combinations, you and Hodges, it was good stuff.
Yeah, it was. We've been working on that at training. I mean, obviously, as you said, it's a combination that we work at the Broncos, but it's good to carry it on through to the Australian side.
Mate, for a lot of Kiwi supporters coming into this match, they thought perhaps the experience factor may weight or favour the Kiwis, but you're young guns. You've got a long way ahead of you, and you're playing well.
Thanks a lot, mate. Yeah, you know, our young boys have been practicing hard at training, and it's good to see everyone enjoying their football again. Obviously, they had a break, but we just come off a win, which was good, but we're just enjoying our football and looking forward to next week.
Mate, the body language throughout, you're often up there slapping people on the back, saying good stuff, get on with it. The camaradade's good.
It is, mate. It's really high. We've been practicing our training really well, and all the boys are getting along well together. It's good to see.
Well, Melbourne next week.
Yeah, thanks, mate.
Cheers.
Carmichael Hunt, of course, cast your mind back to May at Suncorp Stadium. He got bashed up well and truly. Well, tonight he's come through with flying colours, this Auckland-born Australian international with 2 tries. Speaking of tries, a man downstairs, he became the most prolific try scorer for the Kiwis in Test match history tonight. His name is Nigel Vunganar. He's standing by with Stephen.
Started well tonight. What happened?
Probably coughed the ball up too much. You know, we're always going to struggle doing extra tackles and stuff, and I guess in the end, you know, the boys tired a bit and got the best of us.
Nigel, a lot made about the lack of form coming in for those Kiwis, a lot of lack of finals form. Do you read anything to that, or it trained well?
Well, the boys trained well all week. You know, I think there's obviously, you know, a lot of areas we can improve on. You know, they got three tries off the back of 3 intercepts, you know, so if we hold that, you know, the game's a bit closer and we're into the shots, back to the drawing board, I guess.
Yeah, big names to climb in Melbourne.
Yeah, it's a big task, but, you know, the boys are up to it. I think we've got a good squad here. Still got a long way to go. We've got 6 weeks left, so hopefully end of November we'll be clapping.
All right, see you next week.
Thanks, Steve.
So there you have it, a very professional performance from the Australians here tonight, reigning world champions. As we look at the score summary, it was 5 tries to 3 for the Aussies. Hunt, a double, Gasnier, O'Mealy and Inglis on debut tonight, all scoring tries. Thurston just the 1 miss from 6 shots. And for the Kiwis, Bunganar with the record, of course, with that try. Ropati getting across the stripe, and Vatuvai at the depth. Jones, perfect in his return to Auckland. 3 from 3 for the Little General. 30-18 at the final in Game 1 of the Gillette Tri-Nations here in Auckland tonight. Stick with us. More from the City of Sails right after the break.